I don't want to blame the coach entirely. There is absolutely no need for this woman to get injured. This is traumatic injury waiting to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to look at CrossFit fails, specifically in the snatch and clean and jerk. And while that's great entertainment, I want to provide a little bit of education. If you don't know me, I'm Zach Tellender. Welcome to the channel. I'm a weightlifting coach. I was a weightlifting competitor. And when I speak of weightlifting, I mean Olympic style weightlifting, meaning the snatch and the clean and jerk. Now, before we get into this video, I want to just lay out this disclaimer. I am not here to rag on CrossFit, okay? I got my level 1 in 2013. I got my level 2 in, I think, like 2018, something like that. It's almost been a decade that I've been, involved with CrossFit. But for me, back in 2013, I thought it was a great opportunity to be involved in fitness in a cool way. People that were snatching, clean and jerking, doing pull-ups, deadlifting, back squatting. I thought it was really cool. It was a great outlet for me to work on coaching, snatching, and clean and jerking, and ultimately propel me into the world of weightlifting. I am not here to rag on CrossFit in the same way that you would see someone who's kind of ignorant to the community in itself would do so. I have issues with CrossFit, just like I have issues with weightlifting and powerlifting and anything else. And they stem from my observations of where I see the most issues. In general, those issues come from what we're going to call the hyper enthusiast or the hyper hobbyist. The guy or girl that knows they're a hobbyist, maybe they might compete, right? They're seeing how good, but they spend a lot of time in the gym and they are always pushing themselves. Similar to like a golfer who's really trying to lower their handicap. They spend a lot of time on the course, a lot of money on the course, almost, to the level of like an amateur or something like that. Those people in CrossFit, they push themselves a lot of times beyond their capacity or their technical knowledge. And that's where we see the cognitive dissonance or the lack of self-awareness of their own movement. And that progression is what leads to these fails and what leads to these injuries. So I take issue in that process. And I wish, there was a way to change that, but I think it's always going to happen. Anyways, the videos we're going to look at today come from MemeWad. MemeWad is a CrossFit meme page. I always message this guy. I like the page. I typically like to look at memes that are a little bit more edgy. But, in all fairness, there's a little bit of edge to this. I like when, CrossFit meme pages rip on CrossFit HQ because I think CrossFit HQ needs their feet held to the fire. They need to make changes. They need to listen to their audience and things like that. But anyways, let's get into this video. This first guy he fits the bill perfectly for the hyper hobbyist. Okay, this is exactly what I am talking about. Now, if this guy just dedicates himself to only weightlifting, which is not, he doesn't have to do that, right? But if he goes to a weightlifting gym, something like this likely isn't going to happen or isn't going to happen as often as it could or should or whatever. Okay, so here's what happens. Boom. Okay, now I have done a video directly on this, and it's about the head position in the snatch. And two of the aspects that I like to talk about in the snatch is catching the bar with your chin slightly down, which he actually kind of does. And secondly, what you learn how to do is have the bar in a spot that you might not be used to having it. A lot of times people want to hit the bar off the hips and just kind of know where the bar is the whole time. So it just kind of comes here and then it ends here. And they let their hip flexibility, knee flexibility, ankle flexibility take control. And what we have to learn in the snatch is actively pull up to a certain level, like almost right about the chin. Then we bring the head through, and then the bar is actually going to be behind us. And when this happens, and say the weight is too heavy or the elbows don't fully lock out, we have to be able to know how to get the bar behind us, how to let it drop behind us. Even if the elbows buckle, you should be able to, with buckled elbows, push the bar behind you. I would venture to say that this gentleman here probably has not let the bar pass behind him. Maybe of all the misses, maybe 1 out of 50, 1 out of 100, maybe never. I know people who have never passed through the bar on a snatch, and that's a damn shame. Okay? So look, this is a loading error, a learning error. It's too general. For the most part, his technique's pretty freaking good. Like, if we look at his start position here, this is kind of where you want your hips to be. His shoulders are covering the bar. They're not behind the knees completely. This is a good start. This is not bad. Like, I'm paused at the hips here. It's not bad. Right when he makes contact, his heels might be off a little bit, but this is fine. I think it's just in general, right? The bar's in a good spot. He just needs to have more confidence in that bottom position with his hands in the right position. Also, it's pretty funny. They call it rate this re-rack because he's re-racking the bar onto his back and then boom, goes head first, right? Okay, let's move on. Look, I think the exact same thing is going to happen here based off of the thumbnail. But what we can see based off of this pull already, his hips are too high, right? His back there's a little bit of rounding here already. Let's see if he kind of flattens it out. Okay, there we go. Sorry, that's my bad. Not a bad position. Look at that. Shoulders in line with the knee, covering the bar. Not bad. I would say he makes contact a little bit low, and ways that you can avoid that in later stages of the pull is just, one thing I love to say is just curl the hands into you. A lot of CrossFitters out there, that you do a false grip on the rings, and that'll help you get more leverage as you pull over. The same thing happens here. You can kind of get yourself a little false grip there, and you can maybe make higher contact, and the bar will be in a better spot as you catch. Now, this guy, his arms are going to buckle, and it's going to go straight on his back. Okay, again, look, you have to be confident in passing through. Pass through. If you have to practice it, practice it. But, this is a guy who's trying to make it happen. He's trying to PR in the gym with his boys. Yeah, same thing. All right, so this is the, the thumbnail. Let's see what happens. Now, I don't know if this is someone who we would consider like a hyper hobbyist. Maybe they are. But let's look at this. So as she extends, and this is just a shoulder to overhead is what CrossFitters like to call it. So that means usually you're going to either, jerk or split jerk. In this case, it's just a jerk. So we would call it a push jerk or a power jerk. And you can see as she extends, all she's thinking is back. Okay, her hips end up coming forward and they never come back again. So when she goes to catch, look at her hips compared to her shoulders. Yeah, that bar's overhead, but you will not be able to stabilize that thing. Okay, there's really no option here for her to put the bar behind because everything is behind her. Okay, maybe you throw the bar away in front of you. That's the only thing you can do here. But that's the big error. She pushes everything up, hips come forward. Right? You have to learn how to control the dip drive so much so that you're never extending to this position, right? Extending here with the hips coming forward. You have to be able to control the dip and get some sort of timing so that you don't have to shoot your hips forward and throw your shoulders back. You can just kind of feel it. And as it comes up, you can get underneath it. Okay, you're never really pushing everything into the bar. And then, man, if this starts happening, throw the bar away from you. I think another thing too is like, if you start to miss, throw the bar away and run. Throw it forward and run. Maybe you give yourself more space so you're not hitting people. Like there's a coach right there. This is in a class. Like, yeah, I don't want to blame the coach entirely. Right? But there's chances are that this person was lifting in a way prior to that was unacceptable. And there is absolutely no need for this woman to get injured. And this is traumatic injury waiting to happen. This is where CrossFit really gets its This is where, if I was coaching, I would be like, you are never to do that again. Like, pick your weight like that and think that this is some sort of game. I'm here to make you stay safe, right? For what? It's so, so she can have a PR, which is great. She's looking for a PR. She's looking to be better. It's nice to have a focus on numbers rather than focus on body weight, on body composition. It is a healthy outlook, but it should never come at a cost for your body and your safety. And this is where it's like, if people push themselves at Orange Theory, this is not happening. You see the difference? If people push themselves out on the golf course, they do a few more rounds in a day. Like, this is not happening. Okay? Golf might not be the best example because it's not really fitness, but you get what I'm saying. Okay, based off of this right now, I can say that this dude he seems to be a hyper hobbyist. So already, as he makes contact, he's way in the back of his heels. He actually hasn't made contact yet. He's way in the back of his heels, and he just wants to smack the bar with his thighs and watch this bar loop all the way around and crash on him. Woo, right? It's okay. And this is not a balanced squat at all. Okay? His hips are so far forward, it's all knees, okay? And it's all internal or external? Internal rotation at the hip. Okay? What you want to try to do is, and again, I made these 2 videos just recently about hip crease position. We want to see the hip crease noticeably below the knee, not as a means to getting a rep, right? Because CrossFit is all about reps or no reps and things like this. No, it's a means to a more balanced squat. We want to use our hips just as much as we use the knee. We want to use the full leg. So already he's in a really imbalanced squat position. He's a strong dude, but he had to walk that bar out. Okay, now he has to re-grip and bring the bar down. I think he's doing a complex. Okay, and almost the exact same thing happens here. No balance as he goes to receive this bar. And you can see he doesn't want to use his hips so much. Okay, it's what gets him injured. Oh my God. I think he actually got injured on this. I think his low back actually got injured. This dude is not very flexible. He really isn't. Or he isn't mobile. He doesn't have the robust hips, and he doesn't have the coordination in his hips for this. Look, he wants to keep his hips forward in that squat so much so that his heels are 3 inches off of the floor. And he just immediately falls to the knees, and you can't really bail on the bar, so he goes back. He doesn't have the flexibility for this. Oh my God. It looks like he's grabbing his back. Man, that one is fucking brutal, dude. Look, I don't want to feed into the CrossFit hate, but this is where it stems. This is exactly it. It's proving my point exactly. It's the people that push themselves when they don't have the capacity or the technical knowledge or the self-awareness, really, right? This is a complex. It's a longer movement. If you miss a clean because it's overloaded, it's too heavy for you to be technical, then you go, oh, that was bad because of this reason. But he hung on to this bar. And I would have said, based off of the first rep, I don't think he should be doing, complexes with that. I know this is going to be good. Okay. So this is Gui Malheiros, the Brazilian, won the Snatch. If you guys watched my Snatch breakdown video of the Snatch contest for the CrossFit Games, you saw me comment on his technique. I know this is going to be good. This is a dude who has self-awareness, who has worked on technique. So he does a clean jerk, not clean and jerk. He basically takes the re-rack from the clean and goes into the jerk. Are you moving like that with any weight? Oh, you're not? What makes you think you can do it with heavier weight? Cognitive dissonance, it's this lack of self-awareness that we continually see in CrossFit that gets people injured. It's not necessarily the methodology itself, okay? And it's not even really the general population of CrossFit. Okay, if I know I'm going to get comments from people being like, I hate that you bag on CrossFit because they're smooth brain idiots and they don't understand nuance, but whatever. All right, last one here, folks, and then that's it. So I already know it's probably too heavy. He's going to hit himself in the back of the head. Same thing. Okay, look, if the bar's going forward on you and if you bend your arms, you can still throw it out of the way. If you bend your arms, you can still push it behind you. You need to know that. Never let the bar come straight down, even if your arms are bent. And I promise you, if you work on passing through and learning how to catch with your head down, okay, with light weights, proper overload, this will not happen, or it will happen a lot less. Okay, his knees are in front of his shoulders, so already he's not going to have a balanced pull. Your shoulders need to kind of be in line with your knees, maybe in front of your knees, need to be over the top of the barbell. Not bad extension. Guy's got a good squat. Okay. This dude is like, and I see this a lot. This is an athletic guy. And this is the guy who's going to be a danger to himself. Okay. Until they start really refining and figuring out like, okay, do I look like a weightlifter? Okay. I don't. Let me just become one for a second, for a couple cycles. Let me find a coach. Let me look at some stuff online. I'm not this dude's athletic. I mean, look at this bottom position of his catch, all right? But the same thing, like throw the bar away. If you feel any bend in the elbow, throw it away. And, maybe it happened too fast and maybe he wasn't able to do something. Likely the loading he chose was bad. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you take some stuff away from this, you CrossFitters out there, even weightlifters, even if you don't do snatching and clean and jerking, you enjoyed it. If you did and you're not subscribed, it would help me a lot if you could subscribe. If you like the videos, press like and comment with your, let me think. Comment your favorite Power Ranger or Ninja Turtle or actually any kind of troop or group-based hero. And I'll see you in the next video.